Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And you're stinky.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys, just some boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Basketball, and my drink of choice is like a gin martini, but hold the gin, just water. But when I was drinking, it was a gin martini.
I'm John Gilardi, and my drink is Moscow Mule, I guess.
Okay, that's a good drink. That's a solid
I
drink.
I like painkillers. Those are good.
Yeah,
Those are like
another
creamy
solid
alcoholic. Oh, French 75s are good.
French 75, a gin drink right there.
That's when I feel like being a classy bitch.
Yeah,
Is when I whip that out.
a little secco, a little prosec.
Yep. Here we are. We're back. Kind of just knocking these out as we get to them. That seems to feel right. Who knows? Maybe we'll hit every week. I don't know. But we're already going to be talking. We're here talking about Glass Onion.
Yeah, we are.
A Knives Out film. A Knives Out joint.
It's a Knives Out joint, which is it's so funny to me because it became like the name of the first movie became like, it's not Benoit Blanc, it's a Knives Out movie, even though, because like Agatha Christie didn't, like, Murder, She Wrote, was that the name of the first book? You have no idea. Do you know?
Nope. I'm not the right person to ask.
But it's like usually they're named after, like, Miss Marple, is an Agatha Christie person, or another Hercule Poirot. Is like, oh yeah, that's who this is. Death on the Nile is a Hercule Poirot. Words. Or like Sherlock Holmes is like.
I'm just
Sherlock
hearing words
Holmes.
right now.
That's what everybody's just hearing words.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know. I guess they'll continue with it. It seems like it's pretty.
I mean, Netflix signed him to a fucking huge ass deal.
Oh, to make a bunch of them?
Oh yeah, they signed him.
Oh,
signed him and Daniel Craig as a joint couple to like keep making these for like $300 million, I want to say.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
that's cool.
They're not going away. They're gonna keep making them. Netflix is like, we're gonna keep losing money on just anything.
Well, it's interesting because then I was gonna be like, well, if they attach the name of Benoit Blanc or whatever, then then it lives and dies with Daniel Craig being a part of the project. But I didn't realize that he is, like, he's written into it, by contract or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. I know that,
but I also think making it into a franchise is probably ultimately the better goal of, like, a generic thing, or like make it becoming a colloquial term, or like all of a sudden, like, there's imposter games for, like, Among Us and stuff, like that's also, like, that's become a synonymous term for a type of thing, or battle royales. Like maybe they're trying to kind of rebrand or take the general kind of zeitgeist colloquial term for whodunits, in modern kind of America, and I think
so it's like, we got a Knives Out one.
Yeah, I think they're trying to maybe take that, and especially with it, like, living on Netflix, or Netflix being a place we can come in and check out some Knives Out films or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the play.
Yeah.
But
I could see that. I think it's also, again, it's just a name recognition because everyone loved the first movie so much.
Yeah.
That it's like,
well, that's like Game of Thrones. It's like when a TV show that's based off of a book, it's typically titled after the first book.
Yeah.
And then it's still Game of Thrones season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings, Feast for Crows, Storm of Swords, whatever,
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wonder too. So then it's like, it's kind of funny, like, then in retrospect, where like Star Wars was like retroactively named A New Hope.
Yeah.
you know, whereas like it's Star Wars, and then like retroactively, once they were like, oh, we're gonna get more movies, and we're gonna turn this into a thing. This is chapter 1, A New Hope, and it's also episode 4, and it's like, what the but it says that in the beginning, but it's like Star Wars was how it was connected and like marketed.
Yeah.
You know, you with
do.
me? You against
Yeah.
me?
No, I'm with you. And I'm here for it. I'm happy with it as long as it like I like Ryan Johnson as a director from what I've seen between Looper, you know, the essence and parts of The Last Jedi, or at least the I don't know what I liked about it, but I liked it, you know. And then the Knives Out films. What else has he made? But I've liked Ryan Johnson, and I think he's got a bad rap from the whole, you know, situation with people not liking The Last Jedi.
But I think
I think people disliked The Last Jedi for the wrong reasons, and so that's a whole thing. I'm gonna try not to bring up Star Wars here. I guess it is fair. It is a movie directed by a Star Wars director.
I will forgive you for bringing it up because this is by a Star Wars director.
Yeah.
And especially such a what's it called? A contentious Star Wars director, because his thing is so it's just people hate it, and it's like funny, I think, because of it for me.
Yeah. I wonder how many people who hate The Last Jedi enjoy this movie and have no fucking idea that they're connected. But yeah, I just like it. I like him as a director. I'm looking forward to more stuff out from him because I did enjoy this, and it's one of the movies that there's a lot of things about it that annoy me, stylistically and writing, and even just as a genre that I overlook.
Movie?
Yeah, that I overlook. And it's not because I'm a simp for him or anything. I think it's tonally so good and perfect in that regard that you can easily overlook, or you know, anything that you roll your eyes at, or you're like, that's kind of a stretch, or that's very contrived. All that kind of stuff is easy to forgive because it's just fun and it's a fun ride. And it, you know, I think like the details and the interwoven kind of web kind of vibe of something like this is super crucial, but I can even overlook some of the weird inconsistencies, or like I don't know, like why did he send a box to
Andy in the first place
if he knew he killed her, you know? Like what, like it was so that for the story that her sister got it, so then that, you know, could pull in Benoit LeBlanc or whatever. But like that's like a huge weird thing to me. And I guess obviously maybe he would do it to kind of hide complicity, like, oh, I didn't know she was dead. I sent it to her anyways. But it's interesting, and I don't know if the movie addresses that, or maybe I missed something, or I'm misremembering the order of stuff. But does that sound right?
Yeah, well, because now I'm thinking about what the timeline is, because it's either an alibi. It's either an alibi, or she did it relatively recently, in which case they put things together really fast, like Benoit and the other one.
Also, another thing. I guess I'll start with my negatives.
Start with your negatives.
But then the other negative is...
Let's unravel the clue of it all.
It tries so hard to like show the relationships of these people and the history they have.
Yeah.
And I never felt it. I never truly felt like they were friends hanging out at a bar called the Glass Onion. Like I didn't feel that vibe of How I Met Your Mother, like those old friends always at that bar, or any kind of sitcom movie, you know? Like I feel like it didn't give time to it because it's not that type of whatever. But to me, if there was it wanted me to feel that though, like a bunch of good old friends kind of doing traditions, you know. I don't know. They felt so different, which maybe was part of the charm, you know, and like how they're disruptors, but it just didn't do a good job of making them feel connected, or like they're disrupting and their common thread thing that tied them together
Yeah.
wasn't present. And then, the reveal that they are pawns by Braun is undercut by the fact that Braun is portrayed as like the undercutting of Braun, I think, weakens the movie a lot. I think it's nice for
the gotcha moment.
It's nice for the gotcha moment, and it's funny with the stupid words he's saying and like him being an idiot. It's kind of a fun twist, and like how LeBlanc's like, that's how you fucking killed him too, was you poisoned, like you gave him something he was allergic to. Like the crime even sucks, and all that. Like that the gotcha moment's still fine, but again, it's so undercut, and then and then I'm just wondering like, well, these people don't seem entirely competent because they've been lifted by him, but he's also incompetent, and I don't know if they don't. He's clearly a bullshitter or some sense of a scam artist, but they also don't communicate that well enough either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this isn't me deconstructing in a nitpicky way. Like, this is tone and vibe. But at the same time, all this stuff I'm seeing at a surface level is just fun, and I'm having fun riding through it, seeing the performances and all that stuff. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how I feel about it, but overall I liked it, and I had a really good time.
Well,
but those are like all the things bouncing in my head. Like, this is weird. That didn't add up.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced of this. I'm not convinced of that. They didn't do this well. Stuff like that.
Well, the thing is, as far as I can tell, like this is, and the first movie is like this too. And I think soon he'll have to like figure out a new. Because for me, it kind of worked better than the first movie, as far as like his whole like, whoever you think it is the most whoever the most obvious choice is who it is.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what it is, no matter what. Like the sort of Occam's razor of it all, and like kind of not the takedown, but the sort of like loving examination of like whodunit mysteries like as a whole. And that's like what it is, because again, this is sort of like follows that like he uses the sort of like standard like whodunit mystery, and not even like a good, and when I say good, I mean like this is like one of the feels more pulpy than anything, where it's like, oh, all of these people happen to be friends, and they're all from disparate backgrounds, and they manage to stay friends and continue to connect, and all sort of owe this one billionaire person who lives this extravagant thing. And it's all like a vehicle. And it feels even more obvious than anything, rather than grounded in reality. And I think for me, it's like that works better in this one than the last one, because the last one felt super grounded, and this one feels much more over the top.
Yeah.
So the over topness of everything, of all the characters, of fucking the island, like it's like, all right, yeah, this works better, especially because it's very clearly like class and like very sort of like Donald Trumpy slash Elon Musk. I honestly think it's much
his
more.
name feels like it's trying to be close to it.
What's his name?
The something Braun.
Miles Braun.
Yeah, which
Miles
like
Braun, Elon Musk. Yeah,
Elon is in there, not
Yeah.
Musk, but like Elon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I think there's a vibe there that I was trying to say.
I mean,
Or
it's
trying to allude
definitely.
towards it.
I mean, it's. I don't think it's a stretch to say that Miles Braun is a Elon Musk type.
Yeah, or at least a commentary on like out of touch millionaires.
Yeah, I honestly think it's more sort of like an amalgamation of like, just like, it's sort of an amalgamation of Trump, My Pillow guy, and Musk, where it's like, it very, very much has like Musk overtones, where he's like, I'm gonna change the world, and blah blah blah, but I also think that there's a lot of Trump in there too, where he's like, we're disruptors. these are my people, and like him
Well,
being
Elon
an
Musk
idiot.
is straight up a disruptor. Like
Yeah.
electric cars disrupting that industry, PayPal trying to disrupt the bank industry, solar trying to disrupt energy, like all sorts of shit.
Yeah. Well, again, I would say that it's sort of a more easily accessible 1-to-1 for Elon Musk and Miles Braun, even with the name. But I
Yeah.
think that I don't want to overlook the. I mean, I also think that there's like a lot of Trump influence in it too.
Well, yeah, there's the whole idea of the island, like maybe like the Epstein kind of like.
Like the Epstein or even Mar-a-Lago, where he's just like, I bring my friends here, and these people
Yeah.
are coming, and then also too like the way that Trump seems to constantly name drop, and that was one of the things to me that connected it to Miles Braun, where it's sort of like that sort of thing where he's like, I'm connected with everybody. You don't understand how connected I am. I'm gonna just like slowly connect with everybody, and Elon Musk does that to an degree, but it also again, it's also just kind of a takedown of out of touch rich people.
Yeah. I like the line of Janelle Monáe's character, Andy's sister,
Helen.
Helen. And she's like, "You're doing good," or something like that, which at the time was like, oh, it's a humanizing of like how maybe she's not quite like them, even though she's super rich. But then it's like, oh, they're working together. But one thing I really liked, again, the tonal change in this one, how it was more goofy, and it fit the kind of pulpy vibe or whatever. But it also was a really fun and easy way to redefine LeBlanc for the bait, for the switch, or the gotcha.
Yeah.
Like that was a better gotcha. Like that to me, that was one of the top gotchas in the movie. Was just that, like, oh, he was just playing a doofus because there's a greater scheme here with Andy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like that. To me, that was that was probably the strongest kind of whodunit
The wrinkle
thing it had.
Yeah. But it also, the same as I feel like in the other movie, it sort of like gave it away too early. I don't know. Not too early necessarily, but like I feel like that's like Rian Johnson, and I like throughout a lot of his things, he sort of holds on. He doesn't hold on to his thing for long enough in an attempt of like then he can make it more complicated. But I think that leaves him.
He like subverts you, and then he
Yeah.
subverts the subversion or something.
Yeah, which is why too. It's like whenever he did his speech about like breaking the system, I think that like it's just so funny to me knowing it's interesting knowing people's filmographies and like how he as the writer could be commenting on the reaction to Knives Out, and then also the reaction to Last Jedi still, where he's like, yeah, people don't want you to break the system. They want you to give them what they want, when it comes down to it. And so it's like, there's a little bit of Rian Johnson still being like, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I
think it's a fun critique of like someone in the system in Hollywood, in fame, if you will, shitting on like, and it's also like a firsthand kind of like experience with a lot of these people, or like secondhand stories. So it's a fun story to be told, a fun way to not a fun. I don't know. It's just it's a fun perspective, just shitting on them, And like, I think there's like. It's part of like with the whole Elon Musk thing. People love jumping on him, is it's like there's nothing better than like a billionaire getting shit on. Fuck him. Like whatever. Like I don't know. Like for the World Cup, like it's always interesting to see millionaire men who play a game cry, and be dramatic shitheads with like falling and like the theatrics and stuff like that.
Especially with soccer.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
So it's the same element.
Now too, as I've got it on the background, it's really interesting to have to see it with the thing.
What thing? Like the twist?
With the knowledge of the twist. Where he's gathering information, he's trying to put his little thing together. This is
Did Andy just show up and he's looking at her?
Right now, where I am, they just got to the island, and he's fucking playing Blackbird.
Okay, yeah, I'm like a minute or two ahead of you.
Do you know
But
why? Paul
Why?
wrote it. Paul wrote fucking But do you know why Blackbird? Why that's interesting?
Why is that?
Because Paul wrote it as their version of as like a protest song. He wrote it after seeing people getting kicked out of like diners and stuff. So it's Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings to learn to fly. Can't get it cleared, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
I think we always got these on the background, so naturally be a little bit more interested in seeing the kind of clues or eggs. What is it? Eggs, not eggs. Breadcrumbs. Eggs. Little eggs left there.
The little eggs.
Yeah.
You left your eggs everywhere. But
what I said my negatives. What do you got? You kind of explained them, but you like my negatives. We didn't agree or elaborate or share new ones. So what do you got?
Well,
What's your bashing?
I think my bashing is, I don't know. Like one of the things to me, and I know that it's a takedown. It's a takedown like of it, not a takedown, but it's like, I don't know. I wish that they weren't as simple. Like I wish that there was, because the thing to me, and this is like, one of the things that's great about like a good sort of mystery is like the pondering of it, or like, and like sort of like the rewatchability of things. Like Seven to me, the mystery of that, even with knowing, like sometimes even with knowing the answer, I think you can find a large amount of rewatchability, and sometimes it even helps it even more, or makes it more like engaging to watch. And the first movie, I didn't feel that, and this movie, I think I feel it more because of the sort of like mid movie twist. But I don't know. There's something about the simplicity of it that makes it, like with it just being Miles Braun, like there's something with the simplicity of it that makes it less interesting inherently.
Well, I think that was my reaction to the first movie. I was like, all right. I mean, it's kind of fun, like puzzle pieces coming together, but it was ultimately unsatisfying. Like there wasn't a huge twist with that. And then this was the same, but it got there more satisfyingly because it had some, I don't know, just like the LeBlanc stuff was more fun. Like the whole murder mystery weekend. Instantly getting busted by him because he's an expert, and like that was fun.
That.
And
that was my favorite.
And then the illusion going away, like, oh, I'm really competent now. Something's going on here, mister. And then the reveal with, Andy. I don't know, like that to me, again, it just got to there better than the last movie.
Yeah.
And I think I liked this movie didn't have a clear surrogate. I mean, it had one once the Andy twist was revealed, but with the original Knives Out, is it Ana de Armas?
Yeah.
Like she was kind of a surrogate, and then with LeBlanc kind of, I don't know, but I liked it kind of being ensemble with LeBlanc kind of being vaguely the like out of water guy, and then I don't know, it just it didn't feel like it had that centered person, which was nice in a sense of the perspective was whatever you made of it, I guess, because obviously you had a bias towards Ana de Armas' character and LeBlanc, but in this you're just truly neutral in a sense. Even once the whodunit and the gotcha's been kind of revealed, it's still like I don't know how to articulate it, but I
know what you mean though.
Tip of it.
I also love the D20. We got a little D20 here in the center of the glass onion. Yep. Fun little stuff. But yeah, I really do. I do think that there's, yeah, I don't know. There's something that's just kind of like, it is funny because it's like it is unsatisfying in in its simplicity, I guess, to me. Um Also, hold on. Why would he take his, I guess that means that I mean, again, it's just sort of like illustrating that he's a fucking moron. But that he would take his car across the country. So hold on. If I am, we don't have really a good sense of timeline.
Yeah.
But I'm just, because he's got his car on the roof of the house. So that means that he had to take his car to another country and drive it around to where he was going to commit a murder. I mean, again,
Well, it doesn't
another
make clear where his base is. He could be East Coast or wherever.
Yeah, but this car is on the roof of his grease-based fucking building.
Let's see how long for a shipping container ship. What shipping container ship to cross the Atlantic? I don't know if I looked that up right.
He doesn't have the envelope now.
It takes 10 to 20 days to cross the Atlantic on a cargo ship. So let's conservatively say a week and a half for him from her murder. But like, it's not. Also, they kept the murder quiet, so it's still very recent. So the fact that the car got there one of a kind, like, that's a stretch. But I do believe him being a moron driving his one and only car to a crime scene.
Yeah, I mean, it does illustrate the point, I guess.
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, I honestly like this. I like this movie better than I like the other one.
Me too.
Personally, it just feels like it kind of connects everything better.
Yeah, I'd rather watch this one again. Like, forget we don't have this on the background. I'd rather watch this one again than go and rewatch the other one. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I liked it. I liked the decoration, the direction it went. It just, the tone was right, even though it missed the mark on some really important things, such as the relationships and and all that with the friends group, which I think would only have made it better. And obviously that's not something you can, iterate on a next film, because you got to mix it up, whatever the next one may be.
Yeah.
Also, small note, I hate the way he just I hate when guns are handled around by people who should know how to handle a gun. I'm gonna the way they establish Dave Bautista's character, he should know muzzle discipline and trigger discipline, and he doesn't, and it ruins the character for me. And now, what? Can you explain that to me?
No.
All right, let me know later. But Patrick's messaging me on the side. What was I saying? Anyways,
you're talking about the Duke character.
Well, it's making me characterize him in ways that I don't know if I'm supposed to be. He's.
Yeah.
I guess, does that make sense? He's incompetent. It's like if you know music and guitar, but it's hard because guitar. It's a weird thing, and it's.
Yeah.
But I also know there's a lot of people out there who know that you shouldn't point guns and flip them around and be aware of the muzzle. That should be common sense.
Yeah.
And in some things it's done as comedic, but in this I feel like it was just maybe ignorance, honestly.
Yeah. He's he's almost he's the thing is he's too dumb to be Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He's too dumb
part of it
to be
did feel
Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Part of it felt like a characterization thing.
He feels much more like Liver King to me.
But then he seems, I think he's very Liver King. He's not. I don't think he's Joe Rogan. I think he's the idea of Joe Rogan. What people who don't actually pay attention to him or are super overreactive, I think he is what they think he is.
Yeah.
But in actuality, it's more of a liver king, or like just those like idiot toxic kind of guys online, like Andrew Tate and all that.
Yeah.
And that was a small thing. It's just again was on the screen, but I mean, also no one discharges a gun in the sky, and unless they're an idiot. So
Why not?
because it's got to come down. You're responsible for that bullet. It's gonna come down. So
No one shoots their gun to the sky.
I mean, people do, but again, it's gonna go up and come down. I mean, it's not gonna. I don't know. It's as dangerous as a 55 grain. Well, in that case, like 124 grain piece of metal falling down at 9.8 meters per second. So it's like, I mean,
How high would a bullet go? I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking and looking.
are you looking it up?
No, I'm not looking it up. I'm just thinking. I don't want to listen. I've already got it on the background. I don't want to test my computer.
So he's shooting.
This is what people come to this
shooting
podcast for. They want.
He's shooting
to
9mm, and a 9mm will go 4,000 feet, and then take 37 seconds to come down, or 37 seconds total. I think.
37 seconds total. That's it.
I think.
Damn.
But he could be shooting a 45, which is even slower. I don't know. But I mean, if there's a place to do that, he's in the right place. Also, to be fair, like if I were to ever shoot a gun in the sky, like a reckless, super
Asshole.
rich guy on an island, it would be on an island, where I know everyone is. I also know if it's even angled just slightly to the horizon, it should be good. But again, even just the idea that I'm responsible for that bullet, and any chance that if I'm not shooting into a berm or like earth that I can see, that's sketchy. You don't want that.
We don't want that.
I've sent rounds over a berm by accident, a few times, and getting too low and shooting up and oh fuck, I just sent it. And it's been places where it was fine, where it's all farmland, but it's still like that little piece, like oh my god, what if someone was in the woods, out there or some shit like that. You don't want that. And this is a weird tirade. But
I like it. It's a good tirade. It's a good tirade for what we're working with.
Yeah. Again, bash it more. Do you have any more bashes?
I think. I guess that's a pretty big bash because I think all in all, I like this movie better. Especially because all the characters. Look at that Vincent Van Gogh there in the background. All little pieces of things. I just think that. It's the simplicity that sort of bothers me.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe
not bothers me, but like, I just feel like there could be more.
I think maybe the similarity of this from the original Knives Out, was maybe the kind of like, all right, let's just fix the tone, add a few like wrinkles, and kind of do the same overall, like kind of the same vibe.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm going to have to be making these a bunch. So let's just iterate on the last one.
Well, and I think that he
had
a lot of stuff that he wanted to say about people at the top of the world.
Yeah.
And like also media in general too. I think that he had a lot that he wanted to say about it. So that's what got him going. I also, what else didn't I like about this movie? I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing: is I kind of had like a fun. I don't know. I like this movie. I had a fun time with it. Do I think that it's a great movie? No, but like, I do. I do like it. I like this movie. There, spoiled it, but like, I don't think that there's like a whole lot to. Even as there's inconsistencies with their, sort of like relationships or like how they all stayed together. Like, I think that that's an over examination of what this movie is because they are like, the fucking Birdie J character is kind of like Kim Kardashian. what am I saying? But she's like an amalgamation of all those people. And then like, look, you got Whiskey, who's like, she's like a little bit smarter, honestly, than we're giving her credit for, and like is paying attention a little bit more and is like kind of focused and like sees things.
We have that little moment with her and Andy in the flashback, or Helen just talking like, oh, they're being normal people to each other. But she's also using the Batista's character too.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I like that she's way smarter and that she's kind of a weird willing pawn. It's a weird dynamic. It's obviously fucked, but it's like she's got an idea in her head that she wants to be this. He's taking advantage of her. She's taking advantage of him. It's like a weird, toxic, shitty thing, And that's the kind of the thesis is they're all shitheads.
Yeah, that they're all shitheads.
But with that said, she's presented to us in a really fun, in air quotes, fun, interesting way that is a fun critique on shitty people.
Yeah,
and
it's very.
They're also, yeah.
No, and so it's like, with that being said, it's like, yeah, how did they all, like, because you could be like, how did they all stay friends? How did they all, like, how did they become friends? Like, what's the timeline of their friendship? Do they age? They don't look like they age. When did she start running for, like, offices? When did Birdie J to have amassed the cachet that she has as like an influencer or whatever? It's like she had to have been already famous and then lost her fame and then back. Why was she hanging out at that bar? Why was she hanging out with these random people?
Yeah,
like, again,
I feel like the only one that actually, in air quotes, is a self-made winner is Batista's character. Like, his only fix or help was him being deplatformed and that being fixed. Like, he gained an audience. He kind of worked his own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
he's like the
and
actual real disruptor there that's actually earned what he, not earned. Like, they've earned, but they, like, his spot was a lot different than the other people.
Well, and then, too, it's like you have, like, the scientist guy, like, I don't know.
Well, his like, also the characterization of him is hard, like, largely because it's tied to this big company and the manifestation of this wealth.
Yeah,
and it's not clear how he started a huge, like, research and development tech company or something, And
Miles Braun or
Miles Braun, yeah. And I think maybe that's the missing piece, is how he built his fortune.
Yeah.
Because like, when he has his fortune and him, like, building people up and, like, branching out and using them, like, that all makes sense. That's like, having that established and doing stuff that way works for me. But with the gotcha moment, but the gotcha moment just subverts why he's a rich guy in the first place. Like, it's like he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And
but it's
like,
also
well, okay.
But it's also like, the thing is, to me, is it doesn't feel like he's good at anything except for stealing ideas and maybe salesmaning, which kind of puts him much more in the sort of like Trump camp of things, because that Trump is good at being a salesman and selling people on the moment and selling people, like, he's good. He's a good salesman. I'm not going to take that away from him, but there's not much substantiality to the things. And it's like, I guess too, it's like, I don't really know enough about Elon Musk to be able to be like, what did that guy do? Like, it feels
idiot,
like he's an idiot.
No, I said he's an idiot, but he's not an idiot like Trump. Like, Elon Musk, his intelligence is he's a very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
So that's the comparison stops is there, but I think the Trump's tie-ins in terms of Braun's intelligence and salesman, that's definitely, that feels very spot on.
Yeah.
And that I mean, I thought of Trump with the kind of island getaway Mar-a-Lago thing, and even his Epstein ties with the Epstein Island, but I didn't think about him being also the characterization of him through
because that's what makes a little bit more sense, where he's like, he helps people get things. He helps, like, he's like the best producer that there possibly could be. Did you see? I just saw on the back on Bautista's tattoos on his hands. He's got a Superman tattoo, and he's got an Empire tattoo on his fingers, which is interesting. Because it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
it's like putting your Punisher tattoo, or Punisher thing on a cop car.
Yeah,
because
I mean, I wish
hates
they
cops.
did have him have a Punisher shit.
Well, that'd be too obvious.
It's just so wild to me, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's Disney.
Yeah. But yeah, it's yeah, he's I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Hashtag worth it. Yeah.
I think the whole energy.
Oh, that's what I was fucking. It's like all that stuff is like you can point out all those like those things, and we can go through that. But for me, as far as like to make that a negative, it's like this movie is not about that. It's like all like talking about your highly specific what ifs or like would you rathers, where it's like, okay, yeah, in this situation, here's what this is, and this is like a fucking like encapsulation. Like the fucking politician is like all the politicians, science guy, all the politicians, because it's not. This isn't Steve Jobs, written by Aaron Sorkin, directed by David Fincher or Danny Boyle or whatever it is, where it's like this is an accurate look at this. This is a fucking pulp fiction novel, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like these aren't real characters. These aren't real relationships. As far as like they're not grounded. The relationships between the people are real, and they're having a good time. And like the actors are good, and the connections are pretty good, and like all of the issues and conflicts that they have make sense within the story and the world and the universe that we've built. But it's not our universe and world, which feels important to me as far as like. That's why I like this, and that's also why it's hard to be like, this is bad, or where this is bad. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's maybe a better way, or a different way to get to that conclusion than ultimately for me. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I bashed or said all these things, but even like
you started it. You started that way.
I also prefaced it with the fact that like I still liked it. I overlooked all these things. It still works.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. It's. And we've spent 43 minutes mostly talking kind of negative about it, but like to me, I think I gave it like I rated it favorably. Like it was a fun ride. I'd watch it again over the first one. It's fun sets. There's like even a fun kind of vicarious like I want to be there. That looks fun and nice, you know. So seeing that like the fun sets and these people in these sets and any of the shots really is just fun in that sense too. And then, some decent kind of swerves and I personally like the kind of set up the world, set up the rules, and then let's rewind and see it from a different perspective. I like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It overall, again, liked it a lot. And I think it's more interesting maybe to talk about the things where it was like, I don't know about that. And I do want to, I think, obviously, Daniel Craig did a great job, but Janelle Monáe, for me, carried it a lot. And I think that's where it kind of kicked itself into, fifth gear or whatever car colloquialism there is when you realize she's just kind of like small-town teacher, like wanting to get revenge for her sister. Yeah. And just becomes, like, the Southern accent teacher vibe becomes extremely endearing all of a sudden. You're like, whoa. And she's just, it's just like there's so much charm and, like, another fish out of water kind of thing. And I don't know. I thought that was really fun. And to me, that was a highlight and in essence stole the show. I just liked it. And I like someone, I mean, these are all people in like a situation that's crazy, people dying, like the regular people, like the fact that someone dies in front of them is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to kind of see that. And then it's an extra layer of her being, a teacher, a regular not mega rich person, like shithead, as she likes to say. I don't know. That
That's-
to me was like a big negative. Is I liked all of them actually, even Dave Bautista, who I normally, I'm not a huge fan of him, but I liked everyone in this.
Yeah.
Was it Catherine Hahn? She was great. Great cast.
Yeah.
And great performances.
It's funny because it's like I understand that he couldn't allow Helen to die because it doesn't serve his point, and I think that that's my like final negative is that she got saved by a bullet, by a book, which is like nice, but it's also like, come on, really?
Yeah, it's pretty age old, and for a movie that I feel like for Ryan Johnson and his history of being the subverty guy,
Yeah.
he could have figured out a way to flip that trope on its head. You know, she
Yeah.
could still live. It could just maybe be a little bit different. Maybe it's
Yeah.
some stupid rich person thing that gets introduced in the beginning. You know, or maybe it's the Boston Dynamics robot is also a medical surgeon robot and it patches her up. You know, I don't know, like some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be almost funnier if like a creation that he made
Yeah.
like saved her life after
Yeah,
he tried to kill her. Like it's almost like, oh, he can't die because, or nobody can die because of this like magical like thing that he's sort of like pseudo magical thing that he's
Yeah,
made.
or even some echo of like how he killed, or maybe the way that Andy died. You know, Helen's faced in that same situation and she survives with some different ripple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some echo of that. It's there. Because
Yeah.
but it's also, maybe that would subvert the big subverting of going back and starting from the beginning, you know? But
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it ends where it begins. It begins with where it ends in terms of like, she gets shot. Oh, we think she's dead. And then we go back in time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's really just a pivot point more than a storytelling, or than a detail, I guess. Like it just needs to be there, I guess, to usher in this fun thing. But I do agree. I think even like what was it a book of? I forgot already.
Is it her sister's diary? Her
Yeah,
sister's
she kept a
like
diary
diaries
every
or something
day.
like that?
Yeah.
Sorry, in the background, Benoit Blanc is solving the mystery before it even happens.
When they're
So-
all getting drinks and stuff.
yeah, they're well, he's literally explaining the thing as they're all like watching.
Yeah.
But also, so it's like if you were like looking at the reality of it, it's like
Even there's Helen has such a smug face after when Benoit's ruined his surprise. It's like the most she's shown emotion to that point. That's nice. Watch out for that.
I'll watch out for it. But it's like, I guess the scientist guy, Leslie Odom Jr., whose name I cannot remember, the character name I cannot remember.
I didn't realize that was Leslie Odom Jr.
Yeah, dude. Getting it.
So dumb of me. He was my favorite.
Great.
He was my favorite out of Hamilton in particular, which is just probably the media of him that I like the most.
Yeah. But it's like, he's like the Steve Wozniak of it. He would have, unless the Janelle Monáe is the Steve Wozniak.
They're not. It's not clear what they did together.
Which again is like part of it, where it's like not necessarily. It's not important.
I might
know?
pause it if they show the napkin and look at what the fuck the napkin actually says.
You should.
But, yeah, and it's not important for the story, and maybe that's just a me
Yeah,
thing.
she does have a pretty good smug look on her face. I want to see what I want to see if the napkin is here in the background.
Oh, it is in the little red.
It's the little red because it wasn't there in the first. It wasn't there the first time.
I think
that
I
they
saw
were
the
up there
little red.
talking. It wasn't there. I said it when they were first there.
Oh.
Here's your iPad. Here's your iPad, you little punk ass little guy. Yeah. What did you like? What did you like about this movie?
Oh, I went into that. I would like to, despite of everything, the characters, the set, living vicariously in the island paradise.
Oh, okay.
Even if it is a bunch of shitheads and based on shitty people, but who would not want to hang out in a mansion on an island with their best friends?
That's what I
Everyone
just
would.
did. I just did with that with my brother. I went to Bald Head and hung out in a large house on Bald Head, but it was just me and my brother. Granted, it was during the winter time, so it was not really like
Paradise. In a sense.
But it's still nice.
Yeah, and then I really like all the performances, but really like Janelle Monáe's character and the kind of underdog angle they give you with her, with her being just a teacher
Yeah.
in a dangerous element, out of her element. I don't know. I like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no, they just zoomed in on it. The red thing's there. Oh wait,
Well, it
here's
wasn't It wasn't in the
they
previous
zoomed in on the
scene.
napkin. I got the okay. I'm gonna dissect this napkin 1 second.
Okay. But this is also his fake napkin. Remember that.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It says tracking cyber risks security. So it's just a flow chart for security. It looks like
So
machine
Alpha's
learning is in the center. So it looks like a machine learning security system that for crypto, and I guess in essence it's a security system that always learns on its own. So it's constantly adapting to the threats, I guess, maybe.
Benoit Blanc, baby. That's what Benoit Blanc is.
Yeah. Trying to crack through things.
Yeah. Constantly learning.
So he just started with a tech company, I guess. I mean, which is obvious, should have been obvious, but
Yeah.
um
I wish I... Sorry, I'm just hanging out here, listening to
Yeah.
my friend John talk about things. The red's still not there. The envelope is still not there.
it's there. I swear to God, they just zoomed in on it.
They did zoom. You're right. It's there. It's just a little bit. I saw it in the wide shot. I did love this shot where fucking Edward Norton is in the dark. Yeah, there it is right there. Oh, I remember that when I first watched it because it's sort of like too small to fill that little cube.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was like it was cut in half and they were like halving the little cube that's in the center of the Fibonacci swirl. But
Him having a Google alert for movies is a really funny line,
yeah.
or just really funny bit. It also doesn't establish why whiskey's on the ground in the rug in the next shot.
It
Yeah,
doesn't.
she's
She's just there.
maybe that's just a fun day of quirk. Like, hey, let's just do this.
Like, what are you
Do you have
doing
any-
on the ground there?
I mean, even Catherine Hahn's character not answering her husband's phone. I don't know if they're just fishing for or trying to place out again breadcrumbs there that we don't visit later on. But
Well, they're trying to put eggs out for us.
eggs, trying to place some eggs.
They're trying to put some eggs out for us that we can see.
Well, it's a weird setup because it's I mean, I guess it's keeping you on edge,
Why
observing
is she on the
everything.
ground?
Yeah, see,
Maybe the
And
bottle was on the ground. They were playing some sort of game. Not
well,
answering
she's
the
on the
phone.
ground, and then Catherine Hahn doesn't answer her husband. So it's they're trying to. I think they're just trying to make you pay attention to different things,
Yeah.
or maybe setting you up to look for things so that then you miss the obvious or the real thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what-
it was
what
pretty
do you-
clear to me. I was like, because he put down his glass. Again, it was just this is a pretty simple little thing that we've got. No disrespect, but it's pretty simple. I don't know.
So
I liked
do
it though.
Do you feel like you shared your positives?
I feel like I shared my positives. Again, in talking with the negatives, I feel like I shared my, which is it's an ideal where it's like you can kind of talk about the same in the same breath.
Let's see what some Rotten Tomatoes people say.
You talk about some Rotten Tomatoes. Talk about some mods, dude.
It's got 94%.
Okay.
94 from the critics, 93 from the audience. So, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say. Let's see. Reviews. Welcome to the portion where Patrick and John share that their opinion is the only one. James R. Pretty scenery, 3 stars. Pretty scenery and a few laughs. Not bad, but not good either. Pleasant way to spend a couple hours, but nothing to remember.
Okay.
All right. And sorry, the glass switch up's coming. I want to see. Let's see. These are all very short reviews. All right, here's one from Nicole. 5 stars. If you enjoyed Knives Out, you'll love this one as well. Funny, twisty, and ridiculous. You watched it at a movie theater and everyone was really getting into it. It was fun trying to figure out the clues, and every time there was a new twist, that aha moment. That's a weird sentence. Maybe the only downside is once you know how it ends, it's probably not as fun to watch the second time unless you're watching with someone who hasn't seen it. Don't read any spoilers. Nicole, it's fun to watch the second time so you pick up on the clues. You're very wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong. I do disagree with you.
Yeah, I think that's a fair disagreement on a review as far as our bashing of them go.
Yeah,
this is from another James R. There's 2 James R's, I guess.
Oh.
This is 1 star. Promising start becomes a mess of plot holes. Ending was a fiasco. After genius of Knives Out, this was an utter disappointment. I don't know if I called the first one genius. It was very good.
It was pretty good, but it wasn't a freaking whatever.
I will say the ending was a little underwhelming as a resolution. Like, it was fun that it came around. Like, he wanted to be remembered for something as Da Vinci is remembered for the Mona Lisa, and he got remembered as the guy who destroyed the Mona Lisa. Like, that's kind of fun. I guess so it comes around, but it wasn't like it didn't. I don't know. Like the destroying of all his shit and him smugly looking on, and then the other people starting to destroy, and then Helen just taking it further because she wants to burn. I don't know. I think, and like his energy substance being the reason it burned down, it felt a little underwhelming. But it also, But I mean, like she wasn't going to kill him, and they weren't going to arrest him. I don't know.
I thought that was. I was like, this is wild. I was like, this is absolutely wild. Because like Benoit Blanc is like, yo, here's a little reminder of why, and I was like, there's no way he's gonna hand him a bomb. He's gonna hand her a bomb.
Yeah,
and then he did.
This is funny. Like, he just kept the super rare energy substance that he was tossed at the beginning. Is that what that implication is?
Yeah, that's what the implication is there. I also thought I was validated whenever I watched this, and I was like, I wonder if he showed him the action photos of what's his name hanging out, like the action photos of Miles Braun and Whiskey doing kisses, or whatever else.
If who showed that?
Like he didn't. Batista or the Duke. Whenever the Duke shows Miles Braun whatever is on his phone, he's like, I was like, he's definitely showing him something that's not his viewership numbers.
Yeah,
he's showing him something that's more than that.
Like, yeah, I guess I didn't think too deep into it, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I think because they play it off. I just thought like something popped off, and maybe that's someone as a fellow content creator, was like, oh, like I've had interactions like that many times before. Like, oh, look at this. It's like, you know what I mean? And so I instantly related to that, and that's a super like small sample size of people, if that makes sense. But I was instantly thrown into that. I instantly related to that, like sharing, like kind of video performance with someone, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it probably, I wonder if like that actually probably blinded me, I guess, to the potential kind of setup. But
Well, I was like, oh man, he's showing him nudes. He's showing him nudes right now of him with her.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a super logical jump, and I wonder if I didn't have the profession I did, alternate universe, other John watches this. Like, I wonder how high the chances are that I was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But that's also like probably intentional for that reason. Like, obviously, like, yeah, I mean, it's set up in that way.
Yeah. But yeah, I was validated whenever he was showing him something, but it wasn't.
You ready for this review by Randy?
I'm ready. Give it to me.
Not nearly as funny or intriguing as Knives Out, despite Daniel Craig's and Drew Barrymore's fine performances.
Drew Barrymore?
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore? No way.
Was you thinking Kate Hudson's Drew Barrymore?
I think I think that's the implication that I'm making.
I mean, Kate Hudson does great, but she doesn't steal the show. I think that guy just has the hots for her. Randy.
Listen. That scene where she walks out in a
bathing suit?
That scene when she walks out in the bathing suit. I mean, that's it. Game over. Sign me up.
Patrick's done.
Sign me up. I'll listen. Sign me up. I'll work that job. What does that mean? I don't know.
I'll put a good word in for you if you need it.
Thank you. Send my resume. Send my resume. Care of John Gilardi.
Well, what do you give this?
I think I gave it because I started my Letterboxd up in preparation for the new year. I carried my Letterboxd pretty far this year. I went until May. What happened in May? Oh, you know what happened in May? Fucking
Wait, what did I
Sea of
ask you?
Thieves.
What
You asked me what I rated it.
Oh, okay. You're just going on your letterbox usage?
Yeah.
Right.
I was doing what we like to call in the biz, John, a tangent.
Yeah. No, you're good. I just
I think
I think
I gave it
unintentionally
3.5 or 4 stars. And I think I stand by that.
I gave it 4, and that must have been very reactionary to after I had a good time. That was a lot of fun, and I stand by that.
That's good.
Despite everything I said.
I mean, again, also stand by. I think I maybe will change it to 3.5 gin martinis.
Yeah.
Just based off of this was fun, but it wasn't amazing. Because it was fun, but it wasn't amazing. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked it. I think it's good. What have you been watching, my sweet friend?
I watched Gremlins.
Ooh.
I watched this movie. I watched Who Killed Santa? A Murderville Murder Mystery.
Oh.
Which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen it.
I've seen the first few episodes of the show version, and they're good. They're funny, but I think this is the best of it, if that makes sense. So I'd watch. If you enjoy it, I'd watch it.
For the
it's like Maya Rudolph, Jason Bateman, and the guy that dates all the Kardashians, who dates super
Blake
beautiful
Griffin?
women. No, the comedian.
Pete Davidson?
Yeah, Pete Davidson's in it. So it's those three that are part of the kind of that he's pulling through the loop. And for those who don't know, the Murderville show is a detective, something Seattle. What's his name? Detective Seattle, which is played by
Terry
David,
Seattle, I want to say.
Yeah, and he's taken. It's all. There's a script here, but these comedians are taken through, and they got to improvise their way through this kind of situation script and figure out who committed the murder. And there's always three suspects. Pretty fun. And I just watched Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which I will probably talk about next.
Good. Because I watched that movie. What else did I watch? Let me go to my Letterboxd. Sponsored by Letterboxd. I watched The Invitation, which was bad. Then I watched the 2022 Invitation. Not the 2015. There's another Invitation. That's a better movie.
It's a Netflix movie, so.
The Invitation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I watched Babylon on Christmas Day, which is contentious, but I quite enjoyed. But I also understand how it is inaccessible to those who don't love and follow film as bigly. Following that, I watched Emily the Criminal, Aubrey Plaza joint, and that was surprisingly good. Here's what I said about that.
What's it called?
Emily the Criminal. Emily the Criminal. Here's what I said about that in my Letterboxd review, sponsored by Letterboxd, about Emily the Criminal on December 26th, 2022. Yeah. I liked this movie more than I thought I would. I thought Aubrey Plaza was entering her Sly Stallone era, but this was dope. 3.5 stars. And then I just watched Banshees of Inisherin, and I really like that movie too.
Seems like a Patrick basketball movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Or should I say Basquill?
Yeah, Basquill.
This one.
For Banshees of Inisherin?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very Basquill movie.
Well, thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Wait, did I miss something?
No, you're good. You're good.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I was just laughing. I was thinking about the last time we did it, and you just said, bye.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. Rate and subscribe. Listen some more.
Smash that like.
T-shirts.
Love you. You know, we still got some T-shirts. They're at the low, low price of whatever John says they are. And don't forget that I love you, and that, you know, as they say, is there anything else that you wanted to say, John?
Nope.
As they say on Miles Bronze Island, you know, there's an old idiom: make your glass windows shoot throughable and unseeable, and always practice bad muzzle discipline.
And that's my reclamation.
It's my reclamation. That's what they say. That's what they say on Miles Bronze Island.
Indeed.
Island.
Bye-bye.